afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of Reich, Defender of the Fatherland. We all here an exciting 1 versus 1 on Holotny Ferme between Emu, here fighting for the Wehrmacht, or in this case the Oberkommando West für das Reich, für Deutschland, for the Kampfgruppe Reinhold, charging ahead here with assistance from the Luftwaffe Ground Forces Doctrine, to shatter through the circuit lines under the command of Steam Machine, holding up the 67th Fortified Region, which was a sort of more specific defensive formation, heavy and anti-tank guns and other bits, basically meant sort of break up any German attack. And we got a special rifle command out here with Strafniger dual engineers, thus grabbing a bit more territory, thus not losing too much sort of early capture power there for Steam Machine, but then following up with more tougher infantry in a sense here versus Emu, who's got the one steel pioneer forces down the way. Bulletins are pretty much all infantry for both sides. A bit of barbed wire there, trucking about, crushing some carts. What yardstick's that, you puny Russian cart? Not like our strong Teutonic wooden carts, which look disturbingly alike. The truck moving ahead, there we got some wire there, and there we go, immediately crushed. Nothing before the might of the Schwere Wehrmacht Schlepper. More forces there ramming, got the first Strafnig unit here ramming for Steam Machine. Center rush forwards while the rest of the elements of the fortified region move forwards. Truck they've got the Steel Pioneer Sling Survey, at least following up on the Schwermacht Schleppers. Point there, Schwermacht Schlepper, and we've got point there also being secured. So far, very aggressive push. He's basically trying to sort of initially disrupt Steam Machine's early play himself. And sort of go for the fuel, not bad, not bad. I mean, some players sort of like to sort of focus more initially their opening and actually disrupting their opponent, which is actually sort of opening these possibilities, one you don't necessarily always see, usually in part because they can very much end up sacrificing, of course, your own capture. So if it fails for you, I mean, you'll put yourself in a pretty bad position. Gutstrom Higgin then goes to Volkswagen there, firing away there. Steel Pioneer, fortunately, I think there we go. We see his opening has been disrupted, of course. At the same time, we see here Steam Machine seizing the opportunity to go for the cut-off here with the Strafnig with their SVT-40s. By the way, shot rifle gun motor and defensive tactics. Was a bit short there to forget one got an additional force was there on the way. Points here being secured. And there we go, Strafniki further falling back here. Point there. And we got a scout convoy, the M3A1. Clearly a mechanised unit has been attached here to this fortified region for the time being. Engineers here versus Volksgrenadiers. And then you got Steel Pioneers here holding up the assault versus stuff. You got out negative cover though, pretty bad there. They couldn't fall back into cover already immediately. A man arrested for such hazardous and vile crimes as accountancy was forced out of this mortal coil. You got a bit of fun here, Strafnig versus Volksgrenadiers down south, not looking good there. Point there being secured. Map control a bit risky here for Emu. Again, his sort of early aggressive start might have backfired a bit on him. Then again, he is pushing back Steam Machine. Though, of course, now, of course, question is what will Steam Machine do here with the M3A1 up and about. They're shooting here. Opening up the Steel Pioneers, quickly popping Heinz and leaving him rather dead. Strafnig then needs to force away. Surprisingly little infantry so far. Steam Machine, he could have considered adding in another penal battalion. There we go. Conscripts could also be something to augment with. There we go. Could see the Steel Pioneers. Out. Get away. They get away here. He does not pursue. He does not go on the hunt for the last man running away while the rest of his comrades bleed out in the fields of Holotny. You got the mechanized framing going up there for Emu, so no battle group headquarters, not initially. M3A1 there rolling back under fire. Also, then moving ahead, M3A1 needs to fall back. Troops reinforcing. Schnell. M3A1 going to need some repairs, and the flamethrower in it afterwards could be good. And there we go. No, did he cancel the Strafnig or did he actually lose them? Looks like he cancelled them. Instead, going for something else, it seems. Not sure what though. And we have got their choice of defensive tactics. Dushka heavy machine gun there ramming 50 calibers of Soviet death. And there you go, the Volksgrenadiers on the run, jumping over the fences. Troops holding up positions there, Strafniki moving forwards. M3A1 nothing repaired. Veterans you won, by the way, already thus opening up for overdrive. which does seem a bit hazardous with a flamethrower in it. Of course, I'm not the one to comment. And there we go. We got the AA half on the way for Emu. Ready to charge forwards. Important there being secured. First was holding up there versus Strafniki. And there he goes, actually using overdrive right here. I think that might have been a misclick because then he drives around a bit sort of, you know. So, Yuri, why did you hit overdrive and waste valuable Soviet fuel? Yeah, I'm drunk. Anyway, it's got troops there getting hunted down, and that could result in a wipe. Oh, except it turns in the wrong direction there. Oh dear. Otherwise, he might have been able to hunt them down and do some serious damage there to the units, causing a heavy loss there. Strafniki needs to get away though. Could see a wipe there. And indeed there is. Steel Pioneers again a kill for Reich. Duska though holding up there. Volkswagen's getting suppressed. Fifth heavy shots there breaking through the fence and the bushes, leaving them suppressed and possibly even depressed. Once they're being hunted down, can't push into the base due to the presence of the flak in place. We also got the flak half-track moving up there. Need to get that one away there. Now the Steel Pioneers the next one to suffer the wrath of the Duska. More, no, he does not. Instead he calls in a light anti-tank gun, which did actually service into the lower stages of the war, partly, well, in the fortified regions where they could sort of be set up to sort of flank enemy tanks charging in, amongst other things. But sort of light anti-tank gun early war stuff there. And the M31 there sadly did not get out of there. Almost the entire unit lost. Only the engineer there, he's making a run for it, and yeah, he's dead. Dropping a flamethrower there for the Germans to use. Replacement stuff on the way. We got the M42 there moving up. We got a push going up north here. Lots of Volksgrenadiers, although in varying states of condition, with a flak half coming up. They got a mine ready. Will he suspect? Probably. Then again, he might not. Increasingly, it's looking like might not. And we got a heavy engine damage there. Sadly, does not have an anti-tank gun. Well, anti-tank gun with support ready to sort of take it out. Otherwise, we could probably easily dealt here with the Emu's flak half-track, which would definitely be a harsh blow to the right there. Bad Group headquarters going up. More stuff needing on the way there again. Funneling them forwards into the fight against the enemy. The fortified region was very much sort of more unique formation. And they did, in many cases, successfully sort of break up the German assault and slow it down enough for counterattacks to be set in. The Germans didn't really have anything similar, certainly did not the Allies either. The closest, of course, to sort of more defensive formation, of course, were either the static divisions you, for example, find in Normandy. I can't remember the name now in German. But basically, they held some of the Normandy positions. They were basically sort of meant as static divisions. And otherwise, you had the Festungskompanie, or battalion, I think, even level there. Basically, more specific formations meant for holding cities and the like. Little fun fact there. We got the Fallschirmjäger arriving here to aid the fight here of the Kampfgruppe Reinhold. Strafniki there under fire, forces there, and we got a light engage here. Oh, the armor piercing rounds against the air half that they're getting plastered there with shots themselves. Getting good bit of damage in, in fact, gaining veterans who won the process. Anti-tank moving in. Fallschirmjäger holding up here continually. They've only had a flamethrower to burn the fascist bastards out. But sadly, Steam Machine does not, and so he instead gets shot to pieces here. And now we got a third unit moving up here, trying to convince the Fallschirmjäger to fall out of that building. Preferably dead. After them, we got the Sturm Pioneers here with the Flammenwerfer, by the way. And go rushing the building. Thatcher charge off as well. Certainly won't be any Fallschirmjäger thing for them to go charging in to deal with them, sending them running. Troops moving down south. And there you go. Fallschirmjägers on one together. Go flak half-track cities, setting up swiftly and tearing apart those penal troops. Penalising their run through the open. It looks like some light anti-infantry might have actually been laid down here. Nice to see that. Nice to see that. Bit rare to see those being used, but nice to see that as well. Seem to have caused a few German soldiers a bit of complications as their internal organs were shredded. Field infantry going up here for steam machine.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
While Emu is carrying on for a fresh offensive here, Flak half-track chilling up to support. We also got an MG-34 here up now for Emu. The MG-34.
Comrades, we have now installed a field hospital.
And there we go, Dushkat stopping the assault there from Emu. The Sturm Pioneers find themselves going in a slightly different direction than initially intended. More mines going off there, leaving further Volksgrenadiers not too happy. Things are slowing down here for a bit there, imagining in part because Steam Machine is probably going to try and figure out what to do next here. His situation is a bit precarious, then again he could probably go for a tank battalion command now or make a nice armor company and add something from there. Engineers still forced away.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
And forces running and they're about to get flanked here. Flamethrowers on the way by the way for these Stravniki. Where the forces realise this. They flank and there we go. Can Emu save this? No, doesn't look like it. About to get wiped here and small victory there for Steam Machine in his fight against fascism. More mines going off there, leaving further Volksgrenadiers in a bad condition. More mines going off there, but that's not really much of an impression there. 251-17. Dushka continues to hold the position there. Anti-tank gun here. And we got the tank battalion command there on the way for Steam Machine. And a second anti-tank gun there arriving rapidly. Nothing further going on in the base of Emu though. Volksgrenadiers pushing in north here. We got the flamethrower up there for the Stravniki. Sadly, no real anti-tank support up here, so those Stravniki are being forced off the field. Further fighting here, Volksmega being pushed away. At the same time, the centre is reasonably open. I mean, if someone were to get a heavy mortar, I could easily probably deal with that heavy machine gun and secure here. You can actually force in some Emu's troops there to sort of hold that position at the very least. More mines going off, leading the Volksmega makes it a pretty bad position. Really good mining there, though, from Steam Machine. He's actually done quite a bit of damage there to Emu's troops here and then, so any broken moves cause some early retreats. So not bad at all, not bad at all. But there we go, assault pushing through north. Looks like in this case Steam Machine's decision is to pull back, instead focus on the south. Anti-tank gun being rolled down there. And there you go, we got a T-70 immediately arriving here for Steam Machine. And nothing though from Emu. He's actually got plenty of fuel though, he seems to be trading, I believe. Yes indeed, and there we go, he's got the Puma on the way. Schwerer Patchspielwagen. Puma. Point there secured. Victory point with a small lead there to Emu, and engaging up here. Stravniki going to fire here from the flat half track, taking losses, taking casualties. Almost wiped out there, but they do somehow manage to crawl out of the abyss. Well, half of them do, the other don't. Does not. By minor push here, with an anti-tank and some infantry here, Volksgrenadiers moving forwards. Seems like everything's centering here a bit on the north though, as Emu is sort of trying to finish things off there. And we got a T-70 charging in. No anti-tank here. There's a Panzercheck somewhere. Puma though is ready to go. Flak half taking hits. Volksgrenadiers taking hits. But the Puma is out, and if he moves ahead with this T-70 too far, of course he'll probably lose it. Then again, the question is, does Steam Machine expect his opponent to go for a Puma? It's a bit rare to see that Orbital Command West players going for a Puma nowadays. So of course in that regard he might feel a bit more confident with charging his T-70, but in this case, if that was his thought, he's probably about to get one hell of a surprise. We've got the Puma moving in there from the north, moving up its 15mm gun, and there you go, opening up on the T-70, which we're back with its 45mm gun, but obviously not quite the same potency. And there we go, knocked out. Puma survives this one. So that was Steam Machine's armor rush, initially there a bit countered. He could now consider, for example, getting up some fuel cats to sort of further give him a fuel advantage there versus his opponent. In fact, he's behind due to the fuel trade here going on for Emu. MD-34 setting up to cover us and assault through here. Of course, he's noted what's going on there, so takes what he feels is the appropriate countermeasure. Of course, it does leave it open here, but in this case, so far, Steam Machine does not seem to be the type to attack from several points at the same time towards one point, so he can be forgiven for doing that. Fighter Megers are moving ahead. Plenty of support. In fact, we've got a third anti-tank gun here. I mean, it's rare to see someone use defense, and it's only rarer to see someone get so many light anti-tank guns. But it's certainly something else here. And we got another Duska on the way. Part of me would also like to see a heavy mortar that would help the support weapon, but also infantry, and can also be used to lay down smoke screens to maybe prepare for an assault. I mean, that will certainly give him a few options there. If you were to inquire with me, anyways.
We are losing territory.
MG-34 covering the center there. Puma moving out.
Supply lines have been cut. HMGs are ready to deploy. Machine gun ready. What do you need?
Of course, one thing about armoured cars is their guns were sort of meant more for defence, not actually sort of actively engaging the enemy, though, of course, as the war progressed, of course, that became less relevant, and you'd still get them with bigger guns and so on, and they engage the enemy more and more, but certainly that was sort of generally the part that we just meant there for reconnaissance. The guns and the arms basically there to sort of get them out of trouble if they actually happened. In fact, of course, with the Germans, they ended up upgrading them with Pack 40s and 75mm cannons, though, of course, they were more on static mount. But still, a little fun fact there. Smoke grenade here, by the way. More hazardous smoke grenade versus Stug III, killing the wounded, certainly giving the fighter a chance to sort of finish off the remainders as they walk out of the smoke here. Leaving several of them in a rather perilous condition there. In fact, we note here now that Emu's actually got most of the map. Steam Machine is very much on the back foot here. He's going to do something to sort of turn things around. Maybe kill those from infantry, but certainly also do something about those vehicles. In particular, before Emu gets more. In fact, right now, Emu could easily get a Stug III or something. In fact, take up and then maybe even reasonably rapidly go for a King Tiger. And he's certainly got the field presence for it. He's getting lots of fuel, so it could actually work out. If that's what Emu was sort of aiming towards. Stuff needing to the Volksgrenadiers. But slowly pushing back here, slowly forcing the enemy back. A heavy mortar would still be good, and certainly so would fuel cash as well there for Steam Machine. Anti-tank gun here, maybe ready to sort of deal with the flak half-track if you can catch it unawares. Not quite there though. There we go, shots going through there, the thin armour. And knocking it out! Knocking out Emu's flak half-track there. Grenade off here on the Stug III, almost wiping out the entire unit, but still, that's a good move there for Steam Machine. That certainly gives his free infantry more freedom of movement, certainly less to worry about there, and certainly also removes from Emu an option there to deal with the infantry. Plus, there's still a ton of mines here as well. There's plenty of options there for sort of making a mess of Emu now. Of course, the question is, how will Steam Machine take advantage of the destruction of the flak half-track? Nice attempt at a flank, by the way, trying to get behind. It seems we got another fighter gun arriving here from a shed, having infiltrated into it and sort of getting up there. Forcing me out in the open here versus Duska. In fact, not unit up north drawing the fire. Nicely done there. Nicely done there. Fighter Jägers holding up. And looks like a loss there for Mr. Steam Machine. Fighter Jägers forced away. South is open. At the same time, the centre is collapsing as we've got an assault there. MD-34 moving up as well. If only had a fuel cache earlier, might have been able to get a T-34 earlier, so that way crush his opponent here a bit. I don't think he'll be going for another T-70, not with the Puma out. Not with the Puma out. We've still got a ton of resources there for Emu being floated. Part of me would actually suggest to maybe going to take from munitions per tank for some other abilities like, say, Bound Assault, or maybe an airborne assault at this stage. And there's not really much reason to float that much manpower. He's got a bit of fuel, but also a bit of manpower that being floated, though. Nothing completely out of whack. And we got a fourth anti-tank gun here now. This is rarer there for light anti-tanks. I mean, could certainly work there versus the upper one, but sort of early to mid game there, as long as, you know, Imu doesn't sort of decide to sort of heavily tag up. Might lose the Stug III there. In fact, it seems like that will happen. So that's will charge off and easily dodge in this case. Dushka needs to get out of the bin. He actually sent troop into it right about. Good lord, that's ballsy. Come on though, Steam Machine, you need to break this up somehow. You don't have a lot of territory and you have an opponent though in a more rare display. Of course, he's actually training for a lot of fuel here and actually building a huge fuel dump, but he's not really doing anything with it. Polska's pinned. Get that Dushka out, get that Dushka out. That place is about to collapse. And then we got a T-34 on the way here for Steam Machine. Got a heavy mortar arriving. He's now down to 2 infantry teams and quite a few support teams. Now the Puma and the Stug III now. For Imu, looks like he's going very heavy on the mechanized part here of the Oberkommando West. Nice to see that. Certainly rarer to see. Certainly rarer to see, though, of course, considering all the light anti-tank guns, it also has quite a few risks. Then again, with the Stug III, of course, all those light anti-tank guns are going to be a risk for Steam Machine, a hazard, if you will, because, of course, they're much more static type. In fact, the heavy support weapon approach for Steam Machine is actually quite a liability with the Stug III out on the field. And again, it's a bit rare, as of course, maybe he wasn't expecting that. He's sort of, you know, thinking on counting another kind of play from the Oberkommando, but in this case, Imu seems to be reacting to it. And there you go again, another smoke grenade. Lovely. I mean, so many players neglect the blend curve here, but in this case, he's acting quite well with it. Also, fun fact, it was also used to act sort of well as an anti-tank weapon. Not so much they disable it, but actually force the crew to get out of it, forcing them to abandon the tank. Because, well, this is some pretty nasty stuff, and being in a tank while that's in it is not good. Quick Kabaldeladung. Several men in a bad state. T-34 down south. Infantry push going in here from Imu. And it's actually time here for the mid-game analysis. Counter situation is we got Imu here building up, well, nice chunk of the map, more vehicles on the way. He's got plenty of fuel apartment stations, you know, consider, you know, tagging up, maybe aiming for a Panther or even a King Tiger right now. Could, I think, be quite profitable here for Imu, and that way sort of finish off things. He's also got a nice chunk of infantry support, but I suppose he could add in something, but with the Stug III, Pumas, MT-34 and such, I mean, it rather feels like he should just be more aiming for the bigger things. Even a Sturmtiger could be pretty good here. And consider also with all the support weapons, a Sturmtiger in the right place could do a lot there to harm Steam Machine. For Steam Machine, that's where the challenge really is. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons, but he needs to be more aggressive with them. He needs to sort of try and pressure his opponent right now. So he needs to clear out the MG, the troops here, and then sort of slowly push forwards, force back the light vehicles. Go for the cut points, also take the north back. I mean, he needs to sort of be aggressive there. He needs to get more infantry out on the field, a fuel cache, and certainly more tanks if possible in the longer run, sort of try and that way deal with his opponent. And if possible, somehow draw the Pumas into sort of a situation where all the anti-tank guns can fire at it, because they do have a high rate of fire. In that regard, they can quickly deal with the Puma if the Oberkommando player is not careful. But certainly Steam Machine needs to get aggressive, needs to get a bit clever here. Also more mines would certainly be a good move there for him. But let's return here to the fight. Dushka, anti-tank, and they're firing away. Stug III doing what they can here as they're burning away the enemy, taking some losses. And there goes Stug III out. Usually a part of a pioneer battalion's, or Panzer Pioneer Battalion specifically, heavy company. Which sort of meant there's a sort of support for them. Almost wiped the unit there, but mostly just shattered the building. Thankfully, we don't have anything in it, but of course now he knows it's there. They were also actually handed out to Panzer Brigade to sort of serve as, well, that unit's entire form artillery alongside a few mortar half-tracks usually. So, fun facts there. Folks, there's then a bit of a fight from 2 anti-tank guns, Dushka there as well. Shots going in there. But there you go, nice grenade there. Leaving the unit rather bad, staying there, anti-tank guns actually killing a few there. But again, needs to push onwards. We got the T-34 moving in there. Pumas though hanging about here. a bit unsure how to deal with the situation. T-34 coming on fire from the Puma. T-34 fires back, anti-tank should maybe considering that we've got plenty of infantry ready to try and counter that, maybe push it away. Lining up there for the Kampfgruppe Reinhold, in this case clearly a Kampfgruppe formed around mostly a reconnaissance unit with support from other elements. Fallschirmjäger rather notable. Now he's actually doing a bit of a mistake, he's leaning into both anti-tank guns with absolutely nothing to protect them versus infantry. Now that is a rather poor mistake. There I feel steam machine fighting up here, Fallschirmjäger a little trouble in the centre. Anti-tank gun infantry fire, heavy mortar going down there. Taking back the north though, we've seen so much focus in the centre-south. Now that the north is forgotten, that's opening up there for steam machine to take that back, which is good. Emu flowing quite a few resources there again. He's should apartment field take up. Fudge makes a bit of trouble, Puma moving in. Being a bit more aggressive there, good. But he could stand to be further. Ultimately up those anti-tanks, I think a bit further here to cover the centre as well. And if you had, I mean, the partner would like to see, once he knows the Pumas are down, they should try and maybe hunt down the Stug III with his T-34. And right now, for example, a quick rush with a tank, for example, could knock it out and deny a otherwise valuable asset to Emu. So again, that's going to be his primary problem here with all those static weapons he's in possession of. Oh, close there to getting off a really nasty hit there versus Emu's troops. The mortar run was a bit too late. Nope, he's keeping the anti-tank there close to the T-34. So the Pumas can't just easily move out and knock it out, deal with it. No, he's actually now putting them back. Oh dear, heavy mortar to the bad spot, heavy mortar to the bad spot. Close again, another T-34 maybe. Infantry heading up from the south. And Fallschirmjäger's pinned to the ground. We're flanking there, we go, another Stug III barrage. Crossing an anti-tank gun and its crew with heavy might there. T-34 moving in, trying there to this case to catch the Stug III, but in this case the Pumas were already detached from the south. There's obviously nothing there for them to worry about. In this case, steam machine was a bit slow there, I think, to make a coup de main for the
enemy has taken our supply sector.
Stug III. Also note, by the way, the rockets were usually mounting these sort of wooden crates, which could basically be sort of mounted on anything, and also basically be used sort of as more static firing positions, thus being a rather, well, how should one say it, handy and utilitarian in some regards. I mean, they were mounted, of course, a lot of things. Light tanks also saw them. Bren carriers captured from the enemy also saw these attached to them. So, fun facts there. They could also, of course, be fitted with the more nasty oils. They could be used as incendiary rockets. Of course, they are there, but they are rather veterans as well. Forces a bit of trouble. Assume has a bit of trouble. It looks like they are actually to fall that. No, maybe not. No. We've got assault going up. The T-34 needs to pull back. Though taking heavy fire from the Pumas and such. Incendiary round system. This stuff, Nikki. A lack of infantry, I think, is hampering the steam machine a bit. We got a third Fallschirmjäger unit up here for Emu. Adding in a large amount of infantry there for him to help deal with his opponent. And certainly further punish steam machine for his lag of infantry. At the moment, but there we go. A second T-34 arrived to save the day, forcing back the Fallschirmjäger. But there you go. We got me a push, but again, there's a slight problem here, and you might have noticed already. All of this is on one line. When it comes to Stug III, you don't want anything valuable like such static weapons to be on a direct line. You usually want at the very least to sort of stagger it. And I'm sure I don't have to sort of tell you what's going to happen now, what's happening now. A large chunk of his support weapons, in fact probably half of them, were just wiped out. So, you know, little tip there, when you're fighting something like a Stug III, which is capable, of course, of, you know, line fire, if you will, or creeping rocket barrage, wherever you want them. Stagger your units, stagger them, never present anything on a straight line, because that's only going to serve as an opportunity for the Stug III to knock it out. So keep that very much in mind for, you know, future operations. And of course, it's rather unfortunate it's actually getting closer to maybe pushing them back further. And right now, of course, one option is basically just charging them their tanks, spawning their anti-tank guns and whatever, and they'll sort of try and draw in the Pumas, the infantry, and sort of deal with them that way. 50 cover there, and trouble there with 2 5 meter units. Forcing them away, a bit of push up more with infantry coming out of here. Fire there. T-34 falsely taking losses though, in return. As the coaxial machine gun and the main gun hammer away. Oh, almost wiping out the entire falsely unit there. Quick panzer fast then, we've got 2 Pumas moving up to the spawn. No armor support, otherwise supported. No anti-tank support, it's either in the center or the south. Almost got the fighter makers, in fact, might get them, there we go, wiped by the engineers. T-34 almost retreat 2, there we go in fact, but sadly will not be able to make it out of that one. Puma gets the kill.
We have lost one of our armored vehicles.
It's the glory of Deutschland. Fighter makers forced away. Almost got the Sturm Pioneers there. Negative car, that sort of hit could easily be an instant white if you're not careful. And there you go, keep moving headshots bouncing off the armour there a bit. Oh, by the way, had the exact same gun as the later model Panzer III's. Not the ones with the 75 mini gun, but the 51 variant. Which of course did struggle with the T-34 armour, but also Sherman armour, which is one of the primary reasons why the Panzer III itself was discarded, because basically they couldn't, with that smoke tank, actually fit big enough guns to make it, work versus enemy tanks, which is rather wide reduction, which you have to do to the Panzer IV. And any Panzer III's were basically converted into Stug II used for training purposes. Grenade over there versus the heavy mortar crew. T-34 back repairs. He's got another T-34 being available there for Mr. Steam Machine. Pumas could do repair. There's one veteran T2. Getting the southern fuel point. He's getting back some territory here. More importantly, denying resource, but of course at the same time, Emu's got such a huge fuel supply at the moment. It's not going to wait. I'm surprised he's not trying to take up. And he could easily again go for a King Tiger if he wanted to. Of course, he might not want to, which is, is fair, but it certainly seems a bit interesting. At the very least, he should begin trading just, for munitions instead of fuel. When he could easily do that now with the amount of fuel he's already built up, and build up again for, say, an assault or an airborne assault, which I think could do quite a bit of good there for Emu.
We may now deploy heavy machine guns, comrade.
Direct your rocket fire!
Of course, they're taking losses.
Machine gun has a range.
Another Lucas barrage here off from Emu. In this case, not quite getting in the heavy casualties as the previous one did, which was close to apocalyptic there versus Steam Machine's lines. Continuing on there versus Stravniki. Doing some damage there. Keep it from another one here on wait for Steam Machine. Of course, it's getting burned alive horribly. MG-34 wiped out, that could be seized here, and there you go, Puma moving in. Puma moving in. So the anti-tank guns are not really there to support at this time. In fact, this one right here has not been bothered with at all by Emu, either sounding, knocking out, or whatever.
We have a new T-34 standing by.
We're taking T-34 again. And again, apart me would have liked to see maybe a fuel cache rail. I think that could really benefit the Steam Machine. Maybe had allowed him to more T-34s at this point in time, but there you go. At least he's cutting off quite a few resources there from Emu. And there you go, another light anti-tank gun. He's really getting a lot of them, which is quite surprising to see. Again, though, his opponent is currently using large amount of light vehicles. Of course, it's understandable, but even then, it's quite rare. Though part of me again would like to be a bit more aggressive and pushy with them. I mean, they are lighter and thus they are more maneuverable. So as long as properly supported, he could probably be a bit more offensive. And there you go, T-34 strength to the north. Puma then a bit of trouble. T-34 taking a bit of damage. Get those anti-tank guns up. Get those anti-tank guns up. T-34 almost knocked out. Move spot though. Puma there taking it. T-34 down. Get those anti-tank guns up. Other one also there. Almost got a Puma, eventually to T-34. Other Puma moving in, getting up behind the building. T-34 almost knocked. There we go, knocked out by a Panzerwreck. But Puma has a destroyed engine. Destroyed engine. Troops there being pinned down. Need to get up an anti-tank and there to clear it out. At the same time, we've got a Stug III here going in to try and sort of break up this nonsense. Anti-tank gun wrecked. Infantry almost getting wrecked as well. Those support gunners. Other anti-tank gun completely wrecked. And there's wrecks everywhere. Puma knocked out. 464 fuel. What? I mean, I'm sure the fuel would be proud it could do so much with so little fuel. Of course, for the rest of us, it does feel a bit disheartening in a certain sense. Fallschirmjäger's got something eating with the Fallschirmjäger. Straight into the Duschkas engineers with flamethrowers as well, pushing back the Fallschirmjäger. So much fire here now being unleashed. Got another Fallschirmjäger now arriving for Emu. Another T-34 there arriving. Tons of munitions there, by the way. He could lay down plenty of mines there to slow up any advance. And we're seeing demo charges. Part might be expecting some mines, regular mines. He's laying down several rather than using those as improvised mines there. I mean, to a certain extent that's great, but I still think some regular mines would also be good here and there. In particular, of course, there's one thing with demo charges, they very much require you're able there to pay attention, otherwise they're wasted. So in that regard, there's a bit of a risk there for the Steam Machine with all these demo charges. Very much in the risks them doing absolutely bugger all. Troops there pinned. And of course he also needs to be careful about moving around them, because if something hits them, he loses men on it. Or if he misclicks around something with it, you know, casualties as well. And that got regular mines, I think, would have worked better here for Steam Machine, laying down our mine build here and there. And we got 5 Spigs here operating behind the lines. Good, good. For Emu, that is. Fallschirmjägers attacking forwards here. Could easily flank here the Duschka, and there we go. Veterans, the 3 Fallschirmjäger. Really tank part of that machine gun crew.
One of our machine guns has been silenced.
More demo charges. Why do we have so many demo charges? Someone send it to us instead of the vodka. I'm angry. I want to blow stuff up. And now he's getting snipers. I'm not entirely sure what Steam Machine is getting snipers now, considering everything. Palmer would again think, you know, fuel caches, more armor, maybe more infantry instead, some more support weapons, something. And there you go again. Now we know there's a huge problem again. We got all the infantry moving ahead, great, but he can't see it. Which means rather, you know, again, there's going to be no opportunity to really do a lot of damage. We got the truck moving ahead. We're seeing a spare panzer at quarters. In fact, now we could see the King Tiger coming in. Trucks there being, or Pumas being salvaged.
We are losing supplies to the enemy. Sniper now available for duty.
Spare panzer at the quarters going up. Stugers will sit nearby. He should probably not. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Hunting down troops there. Crushing them, wiping out an entire unit there beneath its stretch by the looks of it. And then his own anti-tank gun sets off the mine, knocking out his own tank. Be careful with that, driving around your own demo charges as well. Oh no. And we can almost pretty much guess what's going to come next here, I think. It's not the ice cream van. Got more anti-personnel mines going down there. It's great to see, though again here I would like to see some regular anti-tank mines in sort of greater numbers. Slow down any infantry advance, but also armor advance. I think that would have done much better there for Steam Machine, to be honest.
We're taking small arms fire.
He's got a slight victory point advantage. He's getting 2 snipers now. I feel that is very much too little too late here. Maybe one earlier could have done better, but at this stage of the fight I feel it's very much, you know, getting too passive when he probably should be more aggressive. And interesting enough, no one's recruited that MG34. Sadly not Steam Machine, which could always use it against the opponent. And certainly help deal with all that infantry, which Steam Machine does not have. Oh, now he grabs it. Now he bloody well grabs it, but soon the Koenigsegg will arrive to support the Kampf with Reinhold. Point there being secured. Sniper fire, flares going off.
This is our territory now. Awaiting command.
And in fact, so far the demo charge has done more harm to Steam Machine than it does to his opponent. Which also highlights why probably better off getting a regular mines instead of all those demo charges, which really end up being a huge waste of munitions there for Steam Machine so far anyways. I mean, there might be some huge redemptive moment.
Enemy contact!
We have lost a machine gun crew.
So now they're close getting whacked now, Falchimiegos.
The enemy is reduced.
T-70 on the way, and in the very, very different end of the tank weight scale, do we get the King Tiger? This is so absolutely far apart as it gets. Alright, Dimitri, my tank sense is telling me to get a T-70. There shall be glorious victory for the Soviet Union. And the other end, there's, you know, the German commander going, yeah, I think a King Tiger will do right well. Good, yeah, a Königstiger to cross those Russians.
T-70 light tank has arrived.
Bit of shooting going on here. And there you go, the T-70 arrives. And soon, they're driving through the smoke. Steel Pioneers gaining veterans before they were the Panzerschreck. Quick Panzer thrust there from the Fallschirmjäger. Themselves veterans before. Just swing about there, and there we go. Königstiger rolling out.
Supply sector under attack.
Been a while since we've seen one of those.
Engineer standing by. We have the territory.
And Steam Machine is about as unprepared for the King Tiger as you get. Short of having a huge banner saying, I am not ready for a King Tiger right now.
In contact with enemy under fire.
A squad of infantry.
And there you go, GG. As soon as you heard the sound of that engine, I pretty much imagined Steam Machine realizing, well, time to surrender, otherwise Stalin will have me shot. So there you go, pretty interesting fight in some regards. Very sort of light vehicle versus light defensive support weapon there from Steam Machine. I think the problem with Steam Machine again was in part, you know, he underestimated the Stug III. He rather lined things up too easily, which had he not done that, the Stug III would have done a lot less damage. He also think at times got a bit too passive. Again, the lack of infantry, but also the way he sort of played with the support weapons rather sort of worked towards that. I think he could actually push back even much more well and actually sort of helped him off the field much better. Plus that with all demo charges, but it's just a huge waste of munitions because you know, used for mines, but I think could have done a lot better for Steam Machine than the snipers. And of course there's all the consideration, maybe he should have gone for a mechanized armor company sort of at some point for some HD5. I mean, there are a lot of faults there what it could have done, but overall, you know, some good things, some less good things. But overall, it's pretty interesting. For EMU, we saw also something, you know, less often. We saw flak half tracks, Pumas, Stug III, King Tigers. I mean, the obviously could have gone further to trade for munitions for things much sooner. And that guy, I'm a bit unsure as to what EMU was thinking there. He made good use of infantry, good use of Fallschirmjäger, good use of the smoke grenades, good use of flanking. Overall, maintained good map control to a larger extent, and not just try to pass his way through a wall using only his skull. So that got, you know, pretty interesting play as well there. Good use of the Pumas, though, of course, as soon as the T-34s really engaged properly, they rather fell apart in that guy, and that's also the Pumas' weakness. Sadly, Steam Machine did not seize upon it sooner. Nordy, for example, tried to rush the Stug III and knock that out sooner. That could also lead to a pretty good moment there for him. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. I hope it gave you some ideas for your matches. If you did want to subscribe to your friends, share it with everyone. If not, you know, send a replay about some feedback in the comments section. This is Imperial Dane. Cheers, and thank you for watching. Bye.